Hi students, how are you? I am thinking that in this corona time, please take care of yourself. We are going to deal the chapter gravitation in this lecture. So basically introduction to gravitation and Kepler's laws of motion only we are going to deal in this chapter. Now in the other lectures we will take the other topics also. So this is most important. Kepler's laws of planetary motion is most important for NEET and JW Mains, even JW Advanced. And gravitation is most important topic for board examination and NEET examination and JW Mains and Advanced. So be careful and be thorough with this topic. Okay, welcome to JV Rao Physics YouTube channel. Uh, if you like the video, give a like to the video, then subscribe to the channel, then you can regularly get the notification from the channel. So by that you can regularly follow the classes. Okay, so today we are going to deal with gravitation, introduction to gravitation only. Introduction to gravitation. So why apple fall down instead of going in upward direction? Why it is falling down? The reason is because of the gravity, and the Newton has given one equation, Newton's law of gravitation. Fg is equal to G into m1 m2 by r square. Okay, then what happens to raindrops? Raindrops fall on, why do the raindrops fall on the earth? What is the reason for this? See here, you can see the animation here. So okay, so because of the gravity only. So we observe that all the things in this earth atmosphere are attracted towards the center of the earth. Okay, the reason is earth's gravitation. It's attracted towards the center of the earth. So what makes these things to get attracted towards the center of the earth always? That is also another question we have to deal. Yes, indeed it is the gravitational force that always makes things fall in the downward direction. I think you got the answer initially itself. Okay, see here, this is the gravitation of the planets. Okay, what are the fundamental forces in nature? What are the fundamental? The basic fundamental forces of nature are gravitational force, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, electromagnetic force. Okay, these are the four fundamental forces. So gravitational force, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, and electromagnetic force. Some of the examples for gravitational force: satellites, planets, moon, satellite of the natural satellites of the earth, and rockets. Gravitational force or gravitation. Why do all objects fall on the surface of the earth? We discussed previously, because of the gravitational force. So before that, we will discuss about the historical discoveries about the planetary motion. Study of planetary motion. So in study of planetary motion, initially Ptolemy discussed about geocentric theory. What is the meaning of geo? Geocentric means earth is at the center, even sun is moving around the earth. That is the geocentric theory. Geocentric means earth is at the center, that's all. And another theory is heliocentric theory. Aryabhatta also discussed about this in 5th century. Okay, then Nicholas Copernicus also discussed about heliocentric. What is the meaning of heliocentric theory? Sun is at the center and all the planets are moving around the sun, that's all. So study of planetary motion. Tycho Brahe also discussed about this, and Galileo also discussed. These two persons did so much work on these topics, and Kepler also did the work, same work after Brahe and Galileo. Okay, then he succeeded and he provided us Kepler's laws of planetary motion. So based on heliocentric theory. So geocentric theory, Ptolemy introduced geocentric theory. All the celestial objects, stars, the sun and all the planets revolve around the earth. This is the meaning of geocentric theory. The only motion that was thought to be possible for celestial objects was motion in a circle. Okay. So circular motion means Earth is at the center, all the planets and objects are moving in the circle. Complicated schemes of motion were put forward by Ptolemy in order to describe the observed motion of planets. This is the basic thing actually. Sun is moving around the earth. See here, earth is at the center, sun is moving around the earth and moon is moving and all the planets and stars are moving around the earth. Heliocentric theory. Sun is at the center. In 5th century AD, a great Indian astronomer Aryabhatta mentioned in his research work about heliocentric theory. Heliocentric means sun is at the center. Then the same heliocentric theory has been proposed by Copernicus after 1000 years. Sun is at the center here and earth is moving and planets are moving. Earth and moon system, nearby some other planets are there. So the total stars are also moving around the sun. This is correct. Comparison of geocentric and heliocentric theories. So these two things, earth is at the center and the planets are, including with the sun, all are moving around the earth, and here sun is at the center, all are moving around the sun. Geocentric theory and heliocentric theory. Earth is the center of the universe, sun is the center of the universe. Sun is the center of the earth. All planets revolve around the earth, all planets revolve around the sun. Heliocentric theory. So initially Nicolaus Copernicus proposed heliocentric theory. It states that the earth and all the remaining planets revolve around the sun. The drawback of this theory was that the sun was thought to be at a fixed position in the center. So geocentric theory was given by Ptolemy. Ptolemy is the answer. Gravitation geocentric theory. Ptolemy introduced geocentric theory. All the celestial objects, stars, the sun and all planets revolved around the earth. The only motion that was thought to be possible for celestial objects was motion in a circle. So this is given by Ptolemy. Heliocentric theory was given by Copernicus, Kepler, Newton, Ptolemy. Copernicus is the answer. Nicolaus Copernicus proposed heliocentric theory. It states that the earth and all remaining planets revolve around the sun. The drawback of this theory was that the sun was thought to be the fixed position at the center. Kepler's first law of planetary motion. Kepler's laws. This is more important for us. Kepler's first law or law of orbits, this is known as, and Kepler's second law or law of areas, and Kepler's third law or law of periods. See here, you just remember law of orbits, law of areas, law of periods. First law, law of orbits. Second law, law of areas. Third law, law of periods. Kepler's law of planetary motion. Before we study Kepler's laws, let us understand some concepts of ellipse. Ellipse के बारे में जानना भी, you need to know about the ellipse, that is more important. This is the ellipse. Ellipse has two axes. One is major axis and another is minor axis. Major axis. This is major axis and another is minor axis. This is semi-minor axis and semi-major axis. Ellipse has two foci. One is at this place and another is at this place. F1 and F2 you can write, represented as F1 and F2. So sun, this is the ellipse, Earth is moving around the sun and sun will be at one of the foci. Kepler's first law or law of orbits says that each and every planet moves around the sun in an elliptical orbit with the set sun at one of the foci. Each and every planet moves, see, here Earth is moving around the sun, but sun is at one of the foci. Here it is sun, O is minor axis and major axis cross center, this is center. Earth is here, this is the distance basically, or this is F1, F2, here F1 and F2 are the foci. Distance of the Earth from the center of the sun, this is R is the distance of the center of the Earth from the sun. So this is AO is semi-major axis and OC is semi-minor axis. Perihelion or perigee means, and apogee, here you can see perigee, here it is the foci, sun is here, it is the nearest point, see here, sun is here, it is the nearest point. Perigee, perihelion, perigee means it is the nearest point. The distance of the closest approach of the planet with sun, PS is called perihelion or perigee. So shortest distance, closest distance. Okay. Similarly, apogee. Aphelion or apogee means this is A. So sun is here, longest distance. So the greatest distance or longest distance of the planet from the sun is called aphelion or apogee. The first law of Kepler's law is also called as law of orbit, law of period, law of area, law of gravitation, law of orbit. Every planet revolves around the sun in an elliptical orbit with the sun at one of its foci is stated as Kepler's first law, law of orbit. Kepler's second law of planetary motion. Kepler's second law of planetary motion. Okay. Sun is at the center, at one of foci, and planet is here. Second law, here he is saying about law of areas. So this is the distance. Consider radius vector from the sun to the earth. This is the radius vector. This is moving. Suppose the planet travels for some distance in a finite time. This is the distance traveled by planet. And this is the radius now. In this finite time it covers an area of A1 with respect to the sun. This is the area it covered. Okay, this is the area. You can check. See, this is the area. Okay, this is the area. You just, so this is the distance covered. So this will be the area. Okay. Now let us check. This is the area A1. Okay. Now let us consider the planet at this position. At this position, this is the distance. In this finite time, it covers an area of A2 with respect to the sun. This is the area it covered otherwise. Same time, in this finite time, it covers an area of A2 with respect to the sun. this is the area, this area I can consider. Same time it covered this. This time interval is equal to this time interval. This area is A2. So law of areas says that equal areas. According to Kepler, since time taken by the planet is same, their area covered is also the same. This area is same. This area. Because time is same. Here we consider the same time here. So these both areas are equal. A1 is the radius vector drawn from the sun to any planet sweeps out equal areas in equal intervals of time. So radius vector drawn from the sun to any planet sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. You have to remember this. This is more important. So with this we can prove another one also, actually, angular momentum. This law is known as the law of areas because areas are equal, so law of areas. The law of areas can be understood as consequence of law of conservation of angular momentum that you can see here. The law of conservation of angular momentum is valid for any central force. A central force is that force on a planet which is along the vector joining the sun and the planet. Whatever the central forces means along the line joining the two planets or two masses. Period of proof of law of areas. A planet moves in an elliptical orbit from position A to position B in time delta t. Okay, let us consider here. A to position B. This is the angle. Okay. A to B in delta t interval. Okay. So what is this area actually? This is a triangle. For a small time interval you can neglect this. This you can take as this length multiplied with this length. Okay. Triangle area basically, or delta theta is this distance. The area swept by the position vector r is equal to area of the triangular region. How to find that? Delta A is equal to half into r, half into base into height. This can be treated as a height. This is base. So half into base multiplied with r delta theta. So half r square delta theta. So delta A by delta t is equal to half r square delta theta by delta t. This is nothing but angular moment, angular velocity. This, but delta theta by delta t is omega. So delta A by delta t is half r square omega. The angular momentum of the planet of mass m is L is equal to mr square omega. So omega is equal to L by mr square. That we will substitute in this equation. Delta A by delta t is half r square omega. Omega we can substitute this value. So L half r square by L by mr square. R square will get cancelled. So L by 2m is the delta A by delta t. Okay. Here angular momentum L is constant. So dA by dt is constant. That is, the aerial velocity of the planet is constant. So angular momentum L is constant. So L is mvp rp is equal to mva ra. P means perihelion, A means apogee. So V is inversely proportional to 1 by R. So Ra greater than Rp, and Vp, Va less than Vp, or Vp greater than Va. The speed of the earth more at perihelion than at aphelion. Okay. Yes, the perihelion is more than that at it. The greatest distance delta S, AS of the planet from the sun is called aphelion. The distance of the closest approach of the planet to the sun is called perihelion. That already we discussed. This is Vp and this is Va. So Ra into Va is equal to Rp into Vp. You have to remember this formula, and that is more important. which law states that the line joining the sun and the earth sweeps out equal areas in equal intervals of time. The line joining the sun and the earth sweeps out equal areas in equal. Second law. That's all. Just now we discussed. The radius vector drawn from the sun to any planet sweeps out equal areas in equal intervals of time. Okay. Second law. The motion of planets in the solar system is an example of conservation of dash. Just now only discussed here, you can tell the answer. Conservation of angular momentum. It's not linear momentum, it is angular momentum. L is constant, L is equal to mvp, rp is equal to mva, ra. So V is inversely proportional to R. So Ra greater than Rp, Va less than Vp. Yes, the speed of Earth at perihelion is more than at aphelion. So this is basically angular momentum is constant. Kepler's third law or law of periods. The square of the time for a planet to complete one revolution around the sun is directly proportional to the cube of semi-major axis of the elliptical orbit. So T square is proportional to R cube. This is the third law or law of periods. Period means time period only. The square of the time for a planet to complete one revolution. See, time for a planet to complete one revolution is nothing but time period only. So the square of the time period, T square, is proportional to cube of the semi-major axis of the elliptical orbit. You just remember this. This is cube or cube. Okay. This is sun, planet, moving around the sun. This is the distance, r. T square is proportional to r cube is constant, where r is semi-major axis of elliptical orbit. From here to here, this is considered as small. Kepler's third law of planetary motion. Let us prove that also. We know that planet moves in an elliptical orbit. Let t be the time taken by the planet to complete one revolution. Okay. This is r. Let r be the semi-major axis of the ellipse. T square is proportional to r cube. So T square by r cube is constant. This r is nothing but the distance between the, previously we have taken the square of the period of the revolution of the planet around the sun is directly proportional to the cube of semi-major axis of the elliptical orbit. This law is known as the harmonic law or law of period. That's all. Just remember that formula. Third law of Kepler, T square is proportional to R square, T square is proportional to R cube, T square is proportional to R, T is proportional to R, T square is proportional to R cube. That's all. The square of the time for a planet to complete one revolution around the sun is directly proportional to the cube of semi-major axis of the elliptical orbit. Not this actually, this distance is. This is the distance between the sun and the planet actually. R is not this, here it should be R. Okay. You just remember that. According to Kepler, a satellite always revolves in an elliptical orbit. Goronayar, you know that elliptical orbit. Just now we discussed. Okay, thank you. So with this, Kepler's laws we completed and introduction to gravitation we completed. So then we can check some problems also based on this planetary, Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Then we will study Newton's law of gravitation. Okay. Thank you very much. Please share the video, subscribe the video, like the video, and I have given below also the website also. You can check the website also for the regular classes. These classes are free classes, so don't miss the classes. It is useful for CBSE, NCERT 11th का बच्चों को भी, नीट का बच्चों को भी, JW मेंस का बच्चों को भी यूज़फुल है. So this is useful for NCERT student, CBSE board student and NEET student and JW mains and JW advanced student also. Thank you very much. Bye.